Welcome back, y'all. So we still on this shit right here. We still trying to figure out who was riding with who. Um, and in part one, I went over Mike and his crew. But in part two, I want to go over the three brothers. And it was a couple different reasons why I picked this group to go next. But um, I just wanted to put these three niggas up under the spotlight. Now, like I said, I don't know if it'll lead to anything, but I want to put the information out there so we can come up with the right questions. We got to be asking the right questions because I feel like a lot of niggas they played a part in what happened at Kanika. So we still trying to figure out who the fuck was riding with who. So in this video, again, we going to find out what time they got there, who the fuck they came with, what time they left, and who the fuck did they leave with. And I also want to know, what was Kanika doing when you left? So we're going to get right into this shit. The first nigga we're going to discuss is Pucky, or it's spelled Pucky. Some was calling him Pinky, some was calling him Pucky. I don't give a fuck what his name is. We're going to call that nigga P over here. That's what we're going to do. His name P. So that's how we're going to reference him here in this video. So let's go over what the fuck he said in his statement. So P tells us that he attended the party on September the 9th, and he got there at about 1:30 in the morning, and he went to room 926. He proceeded to the hotel with his cousin, TT. Now, okay, understand this. Who the fuck is TT? Is that Lil Ty? Because in Ty's statement, y'all, I just showed y'all Ty's statement in the last video. Ty said that he went to the party with his cousin, and Cece dropped him off. So I was just wondering if that was TT. I mean, shit. I mean, they call him Lil Ty, so it ain't a stretch to think that some motherfuckers in his family call him TT. You understand what I mean? So he tells us that he has grown up with Kanika and is quote unquote cousins with her. So he telling us he Kanika cousin. So he tells us that um, at the hotel party that Kanika intoxicated, but she's still socializing. She just hanging out with her friends. She kicking it and shit. And at some point around 300 hours, which is 3 o'clock in the morning, he saw Kanika, Monifa, and Maya leave the room together to leave the party. He observed one of them come back into the room right away to get Kanika's phone. Then they left out again. And approximately 30 minutes later, P stated that Maya and Monifa come back talking about Kanika missing. And he was getting ready to leave. So think about what he just said right here. At about 3 o'clock, all three of them girls left the room. One of them came back in, got her phone, left back out. About 30 minutes later, which is about 3:30. I mean, shit, I get that nigga 3:45. They tell him that Kanika missing, and he getting ready to go. But then if you look at the end of his statement, he said that he left at some point between 4 and 5. And he drove somebody home without incident. So let's look at what this nigga just told us. P just told us that he got to the party at 1:30. He arrived with somebody named TT. Now, we don't know who the fuck TT is. I don't. Now, that's why I'm wondering if it's Lil Ty, because he was the other statement where I told y'all he said that he went to the party with his cousin, but he was dropped off by Cece. So was this nigga with him? Did Cece drop both of them off? Like, I don't know. We'll figure that shit out. But then he said he left between 4 and 5. But he just told us that they told him Kanika was missing when he was getting ready to leave. That would have been about 3:30, 3:45. So, I mean, y'all want to get this nigga from 4 to 5? I mean, okay. I mean, if y'all want to and shit. But then he tells us that he we don't know who he left with, but I was assuming that it was TT. I mean, the name is blacked out, so I don't know who he left with, but like I said, I assumed it was TT. And when he left, Kanika was missing. They're looking for her at that point. So keep that in mind, and let's move on. So the next nigga we gonna discuss is this nigga right here. Yeah, this nigga, Quan. Don't he look like that nigga that just plays too motherfucking much? Like, nigga, that nigga you gotta keep saying, nigga gone. Nigga stop playing the shit. That nigga. Yeah. So let's look at his statement. This nigga tells us he was at the party on September the 9th and that he arrived with his brother Winky at around 2 o'clock in the morning. Quan's other brother, P, the nigga we just discussed, was already at the party. And P told us that. Remember, P said he got there at 1:30. Quan said he's known Kanika Jenkins for a long time from the area in which they reside. He went to the party because of his friend Irene for her party. Now, this nigga is telling us that he's just known Kanika for a long time. But P told us that Kanika was his cousin. So if y'all brothers and she P cousin, then she a nigga, that make her your motherfucking cousin. Why are you telling us you just known her for a long time? I mean, are y'all niggas play cousins? I think these niggas play cousins. I don't know. Let's see. We'll find out. So then he stated that one of the girls said that Kanika was missing and had left from the hallway where they last saw her. He did not see Jenkins leave or who came back into the room saying it. Now, P seen all three of them leave out. He seen one of them come back in, leave right back out. Quan saying he ain't seen shit. He don't know motherfucking thing. So he ain't seen her leave, who the fuck she left with, no, none of that shit. He also tells us that um some people began to look for Kanika. But then they just thought like, oh man, like she probably just left with somebody else. Quan also tells us that he don't remember what time he left the party, but he left with his brother Winky. So, okay, so this nigga don't know what time he left, but he left with his brother, you know. And he even said in his statement that he had been drinking. So, you know, he probably don't remember the time. I mean, you know how it be and shit. Um, and then he made a point to tell us that he's a member of the gangster disciples. So we got to keep that shit in mind too. So he a member of the gangster disciples. So let's look at what the fuck this nigga just told us. So Quan just told us that he got to the party at 2 o'clock and he arrived with his brother Winky. Now, this nigga don't know what time he left. We don't know what time that nigga left. But he left with Winky. So, okay, you know, he came with his brother, he left with his brother. Okay. But then, you know, he tells us that before he leaves, Kanika's missing. So at this point, she missing. Now, these niggas didn't say nothing about looking for her, no, none of that shit. But if y'all supposed to be cousins with her, like I said, I don't know if these niggas play cousins or what. But if y'all supposed to be cousins, like motherfuckers telling y'all cousin missing, I mean, you would think they would look for her. So, you know, but they didn't, you know. But it's cool. And then don't forget that this nigga made it a point to tell us that he's part of the gangster disciples. So let's move on. Now, let's talk about this nigga right here. So this nigga right here is Winky. Now, don't forget, all three of them are brothers. They all three brothers, Winky, Quan, and P. So let's look at what Winky tells us in his statement. Winky stated that he knew Kanika since she was a baby, and they all grew up together, and they call each other cousins. I told y'all. I think these niggas play cousins. Now, because P, if we listen to P make it sound like they blood cousins and shit. Um, Winky stated that he went to the party with his brother Quan, and he got there at around 2 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, okay, shit, that's what Quan said. He went with his brother. They got there about 2 o'clock. Okay. Winky also made it a point to tell us that he didn't know Kanika was going to be there. And so basically what he's saying in his statement is he found out that she there. You know, he found her, you know, to say what's up. Um, Now, he tells us that Kanika seemed drunk. You know what I mean? But she kicking it. She good. He also stated that he remembers at about 3 o'clock, Kanika and her two friends, Monifa and Maya, were getting ready to leave the party and walked out of the room. And a few seconds later, one of them came back in and got Kanika's phone. Okay, so now, you know, Quan don't know shit. But this is the same thing that P said. P said they all three left. One came back, got her phone, left right back out. So I'm like, okay, that match. Then he says at approximately 30 to 40 minutes after Kanika left the room, him and his two brothers, Quan and P, left the party. Now, okay, so if Kanika left at 3, 30 to 40 minutes later, he's telling us that um, they left. They left the party. And he also stated that when he got down to the lobby, they ran into Monifa and Maya and they told them that Kanika was missing. And he even said in his statement, like, they didn't make no big deal about it. But again, like, if y'all supposed to be cousins, play cousins, whatever the fuck, if somebody told you she was missing, like, why didn't y'all help look for her? You know? And then this nigga also made it a point to tell us that he's a gangster disciple. So let's look at what he just told us. He told us that he got to the party at 2 o'clock and he got there with Quan. He went with Quan. Now, we don't know what time he left. He said 30 to 40 minutes after Kanika left, which would have been about 3:30, 3:45. And but he left with P and Quan. So I wanted to know, like, who the fuck is the driver? Like, did P drive? Or is Winky driving? Like, who the fuck is the driver? Okay, so not only that, when he leaves, Kanika is missing. She's missing. So, again, none of them helped look for her. But y'all, quote unquote, cousins. So, okay, let's move on. So, based off their witness statements, what they've told us is um, this curly head nigga right here in the middle, P, he got to the hotel before the other two. He got there about 1:30. He got there with somebody named TT. We don't know who that is. Okay? Now, he's there at 1:30. The two brothers, Winky and Quan, they show up at 2. But I don't know if y'all seen that video that I did, when I first started, but it was about about P. Because I thought he was the reflection off he looked like the person in the reflection off the freezer. So I did a video about this shit, right? And I don't know what it was about these 3 guys, but they stood out to me because we caught them in this clip in the lobby and all 3 of them coming into the hotel together. But my thing is, P, if you got there at 1:30 and these niggas didn't get there till 2, what was you outside until they got there, nigga? Or was you inside and then at some point went outside and got them and walked back in with them? I mean, that was the question that I had when I first saw it. But I don't know what it is, y'all, but that cousin shit really that really bothers me. It does, because I found another statement from Irene, and even in Irene's statement, she's basically saying, "Hey, look, like everybody at this party was cool, uh, or at least or cousins with Kanika." I mean, it sounded like shit. She had a whole bunch of cousins up in that motherfucker. Is what they wanting us to think. But that cousin shit really bothered me. And now I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm gonna show y'all. I can show y'all better than I can tell y'all. And I'm gonna tell y'all why these 3 niggas right here just don't sit right with me. You know. And I want to know a little bit more about them. But that's just me. But let me show y'all something. Do y'all remember this statement right here from Miss Teresa? Miss Teresa gave this statement on September the 10th at 2:40 in the morning. Now, she gave this statement right after they told her Kanika was dead. Okay? So, in this statement, she tells us that Kanika went to this hotel party with 3 of her friends, Bree Bree, Monifa, and Maya. Um, she tells us that the party, it was a birthday party for Irene. So, she knew it was a birthday party. She even knew who Kanika left with, what time she left, and who she went and picked up when she left. Now, what fuck with me about the statement is in the second to the last paragraph, Teresa stated that she is aware of the following additional people who attended the party. Now, This is outside of Bree Bree, Maya, and Monifa. The additional people that attended the party, as far as she's concerned, was Winky and Quan. Teresa stated Winky and Quan are brothers, and that Kanika's friends would be able to provide additional names of people who attended the party. So she knew where the party was. She knew who the party was for. She knew who the fuck Kanika left with. And out of all the motherfuckers that attended the party, she only knew two motherfuckers. She only mentioned two niggas that she knew was at the party. And that was Winky and Quan. And that bothered me. That alone didn't bother me, but I started to think about, remember when we got the missing person report from Iran, from Lenore. Now, in this report, she stated that she had last spoken to her sister through text um, at 1:30. Okay? Now, that's the time that P supposedly got there, 1:30. Now, there was supposed to been this text message between her and Kanika around 1:30. But then remember this shit right here. I think she was being interviewed or she was on the news or some shit. And they was interviewing her. And when the reporter asked her about that 1:30 communication between her and Kanika, remember she was like, "Oh no, no, I ain't talked to her." That never sat well with me. It never sat well with me. Now, this is where I'm going with this shit, y'all. Follow me. This is what this reminded me of. Okay, remember when they said Kanika sent that text? They told us that it was 1:20 to her girls talking about, "I'm ready to go." That was at 1:20 in the morning. Okay? So in my mind, Kanika wasn't with them when she sent the text. So remember, I'm asking like, shit, well, where the fuck was she? You know, and I believe she dipped off with some guy. You know, that's just what I believe. And I believe that when she sent that text, some shit was already in motion. Like she probably felt that shit like going all the way to the left. Like, man, hell no, like I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get the fuck out of here. And she sent that text to her little raggedy ass friends at 1:20 talking about she was ready to go. So in my mind, it makes sense for then her sister to get some type of text from her at 1:30. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Like some shit was going on and Kanika basically telling these motherfuckers like, I'm ready to go. Like some shit ain't right, nigga. I'm ready to go. So if some shit was already in motion, you know, what if she called her sister like shit, like these niggas up here tripping, you know what I mean? Like some shit going down. And then that's at 1:30. And then next thing you know, at 2 o'clock, Winky and Quan shows up. Don't forget, them niggas got there too. Pucky's P, he already there. But them niggas showed up at 2. So it was like, damn, like, did y'all send them niggas out there? Like, because I couldn't understand, for one, why would, if Lenore actually talked to her sister or whether it be through text or whatever, then why would you then back away from that? Why would you? I couldn't understand why she. I mean, because you know, if it's your sister and some shit didn't happen to her, I don't think you would be. There would be a misunderstanding of the last time you spoke to your sister. You understand what I mean? You just found out that your sister was found dead in this hotel. So that really bothered me. And again, like I said, these niggas showed up at 2 in the morning. Now we don't know what was in that text message to Lenore or what the conversation was about. But I believe there was a conversation between her and her sister. I do believe it because that was the first thing that she told us. I believe that. Um, but I feel like there was a reason that she backed away from that communication. So it was like, damn, what did she say to you? Was she, you know, telling you to call some niggas up there? Or was she telling you to call Winky and Quan? Like, nigga, what? I mean, because Miss Teresa knew If nobody else was there, she knew motherfucking Winky and Quan was there. And it's like, damn, like, did y'all send them niggas out there? Now, let me make this clear. I in no way think that Miss Teresa was involved in what happened to her daughter. And I'm not saying that. But what if she just knew some shit? You understand what I mean? What if she knew some shit? Because don't forget, it took them a minute to get Kanika phone from Miss Teresa. Miss Teresa wasn't trying to turn that shit over. She's like, nah. So I'm thinking like, well, shit, what's in the phone? You know, and it was some people like, oh no, the police corrupt. She ain't want to get them the phone. I'm like, okay, but yeah, what the fuck was in the phone? Remember at one point she told the motherfucker she went through it, she ain't find nothing suspicious. Like, damn, okay, and shit. You know. But like I said, I'm not saying that Miss Teresa had anything to do with what happened to her daughter. But it just seemed strange that it kind of played out this way. Now, one thing that I didn't cover in part one about Mike and his crew is that those niggas are vice lords. You know, they're gang affiliated. They're vice lords. These two niggas right here, Quan, Winky, they're gangster disciples. Okay, so yeah, I want to know a little bit more about them. You know, I do, because were they sent there for a reason? I mean, I'm just asking. I'm not saying that's what it is, but I'm just asking. Were they there for a reason? And then all this shit jumped off, and then Lenora like, nah, I ain't talk to her. And her mama like, I ain't giving y'all her phone. Like, damn. You know what I mean? Like, damn, okay then. But, this what we do. It is what it is. The motherfuckers under investigation over here. But these three brothers, like I said, I want to know a little bit more about them because they don't sit well with me. And I wanna know what y'all think in the comments. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments about these niggas. Or is this, nothing? Like they came to the party, nigga, and they left, and that's it, and that's all, nigga. You know. But let me know in the comments, and I'm coming back with a part 3 because I got another group for y'all. So yeah, stick with me, man. Let's ride.